The whole city's celebrating, right? We didn't blow it in the fourth quarter. We'll begin with our opening ceremonies. Invocation led by Councilman Horn, followed by the salute to the flag. Please rise.
Let us pray. Good and gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for the beauty of this day. We thank you for salvation through your Son, Jesus. Lord, I ask that you would provide us guidance and wisdom as members of this council and the city staff work towards serving the citizens of Jacksonville Beach. I would ask that you would continue to provide your peace and your comfort and your safety to all the members of our armed forces, our law enforcement officers, the members of our EMS community, and all those others serving our communities here and around the world. All these things we pray in Jesus' mighty name. Amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This meeting is called to order. Madam Clerk, roll call.
Councilmember Golding.
Here.
Councilmember Horn.
Here.
Councilmember Jansen.
Here.
Councilmember Sutton.
Here.
Councilmember Wagner.
Here.
Councilmember Wouters.
Here.
Mayor Hoffman.
Here. Moving on to approval of minutes. Item A.
I move we approve minutes from the special council briefing held on October 22nd, 2025.
October 21st.
21st, 2025.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item B.
I move we approve the minutes from the regular city council meeting held on November 3rd, 2025.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. Approval of the agenda.
I move we approve the agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Announcements. Councilman Horn. That was kind of you.
Oh, wow. Okay. Not the only one, or
Ms. Golding was letting you get it.
well, thank you. Sorry. I have to go back to my notes here. On the, I want to say, oh my goodness, I forget the date now. It was November 8th. I was lucky enough to go to the end of the year banquet for the Volunteer Life Saving Corps. This is our 113th season serving the citizens of Jacksonville Beach. Just a little information about that organization this year: 29 active members, 9,021 hours for the city of Jacksonville Beach, 5 rescues, 17 assists, where basically they assisted somebody and wasn't a full rescue, but and then multiple first aid cases. I did the math at a basic, I want to say it was like $15 an hour. That comes out to $140,000 that our that the Volunteer Life Saving Corps of hours of service and money that we put back into the community and put back into the city coffers. We didn't have to pay for that service. I thank them for their service. I thank them for their continued efforts to serve this beach, and I'm greatly appreciative for them. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Horn. Ms. Golding.
Thank you, Mayor. Wanted to mention that last Friday night I had the privilege to attend the Fletcher High Band performance that they did for friends and family before they went to the state competition. And I just want to say what a great band Fletcher has, and they did a great job. And I'll let Mr. Jansen talk about how they did at state because he was there. Also want to mention that especially to my colleagues, that you probably got the information from the Florida League of Cities, but the House Select Committee on Property Taxes is going to meet this Thursday, November 20th at 9 a.m. to consider all 8 of the property tax bills that have been filed. And I reached out to the Florida League of Cities, and they shared a memo with me that Speaker Perez had sent out. I don't know if you guys saw it, but the memo basically said he's open to all 8 of the bills passing, and let the citizens decide which things they want to approve or not, and then the legislature will figure out how to put all the pieces together, or whatever the case may be, after everything has been voted on. So I think it's really important that we reach out to the members of the House Select Committee and let them know how these bills would impact our community. And so just encourage you to do that, and citizens as well if you have any interest in it. And then also on the lighter side of things, just want to remind everybody that the opening day of Deck the Chairs is Wednesday, November 26th at 1:30, and that starts the great season, about a month or so of fun things that will be happening in Latham Plaza and the Seawalk Pavilion. So I encourage you to come out as much and as often as you can. And then just want to say congratulations to the Jags and all of the Jags fans who had an opportunity to celebrate this Sunday for a change. And wish everyone a very happy Thanksgiving, since I won't see you probably until December.
Thank you, Ms. Golding. Mr. Jansen.
Thank you, Mrs. Golding, for the intro. So your Pride of the Beaches, they're fighting Fletcher Senators band. They placed first class in their Division 2A, which allowed them to go to the state competition, where overall in the state of Florida they came in fourth, which is very admirable when you consider how many high schools there are in the state of Florida. Thank you, and I'm partisan because my son's a trumpet player in the band too. So yeah, congratulations to the Fletcher Senators.
Mr. Wagner.
I just wanted to share, Saturday, my wife and I had the opportunity to go to a charity event that was held here at the beaches. A local establishment, Lynch's, held it, and it's an event that occurs every year, and it's the Battle of the Bands Against Breast Cancer, or AKA Boobapalooza. And you know, one of the things that was just so amazing being there and seeing every walk of life, all types of different people, very, very broad spectrum socioeconomic, because, you know, as it turns out, disease doesn't discriminate, right? It affects us all. And so many people have been touched by, you know, the horrible disease of cancer. To see all those people out there supporting it with their time and their money, and the volunteers there were just absolutely amazing. So I just wanted to share that. And if you have a chance, if you like a little bit of music and maybe a Guinness, it's a great place to be.
I think the Fletcher Senators could win that battle too.
Battle of the marching bands. Mr. Wouters.
Thank you, Mayor. I really appreciate that. I wanted to start out by congratulating the Surfer Girl folks. That was an amazing program. I had no idea. In lacrosse, pardon me, girls flag football, etc., cheering team, and the city to making it possible for them. And I especially wanted to thank Beaches Go Green. I saw at least 10 groups of 3 or 4, I think they were all high school kids, on their hands and knees, picking up cigarette butts, policing our downtown area. It was amazing, and they were so happy to do it. So I hope we can keep their continued partnership. It was a beautiful thing. And I would also like to thank Councilman Horn for giving us the update on the VLSC and how much we value and appreciate their presence, and hope that our partnership will continue to grow. And I was glad to see so many of my colleagues at the Veterans Day at Memorial Park. It was a beautiful service, and remembering the people that matter the most, those who gave their lives for us, that we might be here free. And lastly, piggybacking on Councilman Golding, I am thankful for all of you for serving our city, and it's been my pleasure in this first year to work with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wouters. Any other comments? I just have a couple. I'd like to first Vice Mayor Jansen for covering for me at the last meeting. I was called down to jury duty and was there for 11 hours for potential selection for a murder trial. I was not selected. I'd probably still be down there. But thank you. At the very last minute, when I realized there was no way I was going to make it back to the beach in time, for covering the meeting. And to piggyback off Mr. Wouters, congratulations to Alyssa Spencer, who won the Supergirl Surf Pro this year. She also won the very first one that we had 5 years ago here in Jacksonville Beach. So we've got some real talent coming out to our shores for that event and for a bunch of different sports and other competitions. feel really bad. I don't know exactly what it was that they did, but I know our Fletcher swim team did really well. And I don't know if it was state or something, but kudos to them. I'll find out what it was and report at the next meeting. And then finally, there's going to be a food distribution hosted by Beam in partnership with the City of Jacksonville Beach, and our police department is going to be helping them out on Saturday from 10 until the food runs out. They're going to have 500 boxes of food, so it'll be one per family. This is in addition to the Thanksgiving baskets that they give out every year, and I think they're going to be giving out 900 Thanksgiving baskets. So this is in direct response to families who may have had their SNAP benefits suspended for a time and need a little boost to help get back on their feet. That's going to be at the operations and maintenance area, Beaches Energy area over there on Shutter. So if you know of a family in need, please feel free to share that information, and you should start to see some publicity coming out from Beam by tomorrow. So that would be open to, they'll have the qualifications. I don't think that they'll be very stringent. So that is it for announcements. Thank you, everyone. And courtesy of the floor to visitors, we have quite a few cards. They are all attached to our final two agenda items. So we'll move on to consent agenda.
I move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Mr. Jensen, did you have that?
Yes, I would like to pull item B off of the consent agenda. I've got some questions about it. If we can put it at the end.
Okay. We have a motion with the removal of item B. So consent agenda, items A and C, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, we're moving on to city manager new business. I will turn it over to the city attorney.
Thank you, Mayor. The next two agenda items involve cybersecurity and critical infrastructure, as those terms are defined under Section 119.0725 Florida statutes. Under these statutes, information related to critical infrastructure is confidential and exempt from the Florida Public Records laws. Additionally, any portion of a meeting that would reveal information made confidential and exempt under this statute is exempt from the Florida Government and the Sunshine Law. As such, City Council will go into a private session to discuss these two items. In accordance with Florida law, this private session will be recorded and transcribed. And City Council will step out of this room in just a moment. Everyone else is welcome to stay in your seats. When private discussions on these two items end, City Council will reconvene the public meeting. Any motions to be made on these two agenda items will be made once the public meeting has resumed. Any public comment on these agenda items will be heard at that time. With that, Mayor, I'll turn it back over to you. Go into recess or not legally necessary.
Okay, City Council will adjourn for a brief meeting upstairs, and we will be back in just a few minutes. Please feel free to talk amongst yourselves. I do also want to say we have quite a few speaker cards for tonight's items. I'm going to be limiting each speaker to 2 minutes, so please adjust your commentary accordingly. Yes, I can do that, Kathy. Thank you. Okay, we'll be right back. And we're back. We'll resume our regular city council meeting, throwing it to Mr. City Attorney.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to confirm that the exempt portion of the public meeting was held in compliance with the provisions of Section 119.0725 Florida statutes. The exempt portion of the meeting has now concluded, and at this point, the mayor will continue presiding over the public meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I have a motion on item A?
I move we approve an agreement for the critical infrastructure relating to cybersecurity.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Madam Clerk, roll call.
Councilmember Golding,
Yes.
Councilmember Horn,
Yes.
Councilmember Jansen,
Yes.
Councilmember Sutton,
Yes.
Councilmember Wagner,
Yes.
Councilmember Wouters,
Yes.
Mayor Hoffman.
Yes, item B.
I move we approve an agreement for critical infrastructure services relating to cybersecurity.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Madam Clerk, roll call.
Councilmember Horn,
Yes.
Councilmember Jansen,
Yes.
Councilmember Sutton,
Yes.
Councilmember Wagner,
Yes.
Councilmember Wouters,
Yes.
Councilmember Golding,
Yes.
Mayor Hoffman.
Yes, motion carries. Thank you for your patience while we took care of those business items. Moving on to item C, we have our annual legislative action days hosted by the Florida League of Cities that will be on January 26th through 28th in Tallahassee this year. So we always do an approval for any of the council members that would like to attend. If you would like to be included on this motion, please turn on your light. Okay, all lights are on. Mr. Jansen, if you'd like to make a motion. Have to remember all 7 names.
I move we authorize the following elected officials to attend the Florida League of Cities Legislative Action Days on January 26th through 28th, 2026 in Tallahassee. Councilmember Golding, Councilmember Jansen, Councilmember Wagner, Mayor Hoffman, Councilmember Wouters, Councilmember Horn, he was waving his hand, and Councilmember Sutton.
Pardon me. I'm sorry.
Second.
We have a motion on and a second. Comments? If your light is on because you turned it on to attend the event, you can turn it off now. Mr. Wouters?
I just want to make clear to Ms. Horn and the city that I will only be attending on the 27th, and I will not be staying overnight. Thank you.
Thank you. And any other specific details in particular, if you need to cancel, please make sure you let the assistant to the city manager know as soon as humanly possible. Any other discussion or comments? Madam Clerk, roll call.
Councilmember Jansen,
Yes.
Councilmember Sutton,
Yes.
Councilmember Wagner,
Yes.
Councilmember Wouters,
Yes.
Councilmember Golding,
Yes.
Councilmember Horn,
Yes.
Mayor Hoffman.
Yes, I'm sorry, I did not see you come up to the podium. Would
That's
you like
okay.
to say
I
anything?
didn't hear if you have any questions, but
I was just so in it. Okay, thank you, Miss Loria. All right. Also, I noticed Public Works Director Barron is in the room. I meant to say something during announcements. I don't want to jump the gun because we are not officially to the end of H-word season / adventures in weather season, but we're really close. So I think we can breathe almost a complete sigh of relief at this point. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just watch the past meeting minutes, but or watch the past meetings. But moving on to item D, I think we have Nick from Beaches Energy. Come on in.
Thank you, Mayor, City Council. So I'm going through and requesting a sole source for 3 vendors for testing equipment for our substation equipment. I have some technical backup. I have Matt Seeley here, Scott Miller, and I have my daughter here too in case you guys have some real technical questions. She helped me out with the tablet there. All right, so as the substation electrical engineer for Beaches Energy Services, I'm requesting a sole source approval to purchase essential test equipment from Omicron, Dylo, and Doble. These manufacturers whose products are industry standards for all types of diagnostic work required for within our substations. Beaches Energy Services supplies power to more than 35,000 customers. Our electrical grid is divided up into 5 service areas. Each is fed from a substation. The core of every substation is a power transformer. These transformers each are multi-million-dollar assets. They step transmission level voltage down to distribution voltage. And their service lives are approximately 40 years, and replacing them typically takes a 3-year lead time, regardless of the price tag. To protect these transformers, we have a sectionalized grid a little bit further by protecting them with breakers. These breakers, they range in price from $27,000 to $230,000 a piece. They have lead times of 6 months to 3 years. So again, long lead time critical infrastructure equipment here. And unlike the transformers, they are only expected to last 20 to 30 years, and it's very contingent on operational life. So because these assets are so critical and have life cycles measured in decades, proactive testing, condition monitoring, and trending diagnostic data is essential to ensure safe operational and full lifespan of these assets. Unfortunately, the test equipment that we have available to us is either failed out of any further support from the manufacturer, and several other situations where we can't actually use most of the test equipment we have currently. So this forces us to rely on outside vendors, rely on mail-in laboratory services, which creates delays in restoring service, increases outage durations, and requires additional field switching, loading the circuits more heavily and increasing the likelihood to impact further outages. And it also places our employees in a less than safe operating environment. Obtaining the sole source approval from Omicron, Dilo, and Doble test equipment will allow the substation team to perform the required diagnostic testing in-house, and this will enable us to restore the grid to normal operation safer and more quickly, reduce outage durations, and improve reliability of all the customers, reduce operational risk to our personnel, and we can collect and trend conditional data to make the information informed maintenance and replacement decisions for these long lead time, high value assets. So this is the reason I'd like to move forward with Omicron, Dilo, and Doble and approving them as sole source manufacturers for the test equipment that we set forth in the CIP 2025.
Thank you. Can I have a motion, please?
I move we authorize the purchase of diagnostic testing equipment from Omicron Electronics Corp. USA, Dilo Company Incorporated, and Doble Engineering Company as sole source providers.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion or questions for Beaches Energy? Mr. Horn.
You were discussing some of the items that we're testing and their lifespan, the matter of decades. The items that we're purchasing, the testing sets. I guess two-part question. Number one, are there any ongoing costs associated with these items that we're purchasing? You know, I mean, I don't know enough about them. Are there things that we're going to have to keep purchasing to make sure that they work correctly? And then the follow-up to that is going to be, what is the expected lifespan of these items? Because I see we've got it out here till fiscal year 2029. So is this, you expect these items to last 4 or 5 years? Do they last 10 years?
We're expecting around a 10-year lifespan on this equipment. We have, it depends on the exact piece of equipment, but there's anywhere from 1 to 5 years of calibration tests and recertification that needs to occur just to make sure we bench test these and the results we're getting back are precise.
And so then the current costs that we expend each year to do the tests that would be replacing with these is roughly, what do we spend?
The transformer tests themselves.
I know we said there was some comment here about we send things out. So
there's a double-edged sword on the benefits. So actually, just two benefits really. One, we get the quicker outage duration. So if we go out there Saturday morning at 3 a.m., the guys, they go out, they test the piece of equipment. It has sun pressure alarm on the transformer. They go out, test it, and they say, hey, we go right back in service. No harm, no foul. We know. We have a 2-day outage time, sending off an oil sample, testing the transformer, etc. And it can be, for the oil sample, I want to say it's under $500 per sample that we send off. We do it every 6 months. And then anytime we have a sudden pressure alarm or anything like that on a transformer, a critical alarm. And then when we test the transformers for like service life extensions, routine annual maintenance, whatever, it's $15,000 roughly, depending on the vendor. Some vendors are a little more in depth, some are a little more, let me come in, test, and get out of here. But we try to pick the most supportive vendors that'll give us actual results, credible analysis. But it's around $15,000 each time you fire this test equipment with a crew.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Wouters?
Thank you, Mayor. I was just curious. So was this going to go through the RFP process? Did we bid this out, or was there more than one vendor?
So there are multiple vendors that do similar test equipment. These pieces of test equipment are more of an industry standard. They're approved, and they're readily used by our team, and they're more familiar with it, trained on it, and comparable price ranges on all equipment. And the vendors that we have come in and test today, like for instance, we're testing that Penman T2 today. Like actually one of the guys that's supposed to be here is still out there in the field. And they have the Omicron test equipment for the CT analyzer just setting right there. Like they're doing these tests like with that equipment. That's what we're used to looking at. And back to the Saturday at 3 a.m. scenario, when one of these guys that are on call, like Scott, you're on call right now, and when he gets called out after hours, I want him looking at the same bottom right corner for a test result and be familiar with the test equipment, using it, not, oh wait, we just got trained on this. This is pretty similar. I want none of that to happen on a multi-million-dollar asset. So that's just.
How long have we been partners with this vendor?
Our last test set, how long have we had it?
I've been here 8 years.
Yeah.
All right, thank you very much. I do appreciate that.
Mr. Jansen?
Just real quick, so you have on here that it's sole source providers. So that indicates to me like there's no other companies out there that's providing that same equipment and that same at that same level that we're looking for.
In the purchasing manual, the standardization of equipment and familiarity and training was one of the reasons of which we could go for sole source. The fact that some of these all three of these devices were over $25,000 is the reason we came to council.
Yep.
For
Okay.
that approval process.
Thank you.
And thank you for including the reference to the purchasing manual in our packet so that we could have that sole source description readily available. Any other comments or questions from council? I should have included Beaches Energy also, and Parks and Rec for that matter, and PD on the congratulations for being almost at the end of festive weather season. So sorry about that. I'm still not gonna say the H word, but I'm gonna say festive
We're not
weather.
superstitious.
Right. Seeing no other questions or comments from council, Madam Clerk, roll call.
Councilmember Sutton,
Yes.
Councilmember Wagner,
Yes.
Councilmember Wouters,
Yes.
Councilmember Golding,
Yes.
Councilmember Horn,
Yes.
Councilmember Jansen,
Yes.
Mayor Hoffman.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to resolutions. Ms. Taylor Mobbs.
Madam Mayor.
Oops, sorry, just kidding.
Yeah.
Oh,
Pro. Yep.
so we're going to go back to the item that was pulled off of the consent agenda, item B, and that would be Mr. Barron. Matt was heading towards the podium. I was like, when is Matt in charge of waste services?
Okay, Madam Mayor, Council, Dennis Barron, Public Works Director, wasn't prepared to present since it was on the consent agenda. So we have in front of you, this will be back to a two-part approval, or will it still be a one-part approval as authorizing the mayor and city manager? We normally do that in two steps. Do we want that in two or one?
It could be one as
One?
the motion is phrased.
Okay, thank you. So what you have in front of you is a franchise contract agreement, first amendment for the Waste Pro agreement. Waste Pro brought to us about a year and a half ago or so the suggestion that they wanted to request being able to be paid in the event that they are removing debris from the beaches in the event of a named storm or a named event. We've been worked forward to be able to then produce what is this first agreement. So the only two things it really did was identify what was the disaster definition for stuff, and then how we go about paying for that stuff as part of that. And then all of that is keyed off of the declaration of emergency based on the mayor in preface of a stormed event. So that's what you have in front of you is that document. And then I'll ask any other questions as you need.
Thank you, Mr. Barron. Can we have a motion?
I move we approve the First Amendment to the franchise contract agreement with Waste Pro Florida Incorporated to provide eligible disaster debris collection and removal disposal, and authorize the mayor and city manager to execute the amendment.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Mr. Jansen.
Yeah, so you answered one of my questions real quick. I knew that we had an outlying issue with previous debris that was removed from a previous storm, and that there was an outlying bill that they were trying to collect on.
Correct.
So this addresses that.
It addresses it moving forward, yes. So previously in the last contract holders, we've had Waste Management, we've had ADS, we've had Republic. Anytime we've had a storm, it's always just been part of a contract that just says if we don't engage our disaster debris vendors that we have on call, and then our local contractor does pick it up, they do so, as part of their contract costs overall for the ability of having the franchise agreement in Jacksonville Beach. And that's how it's been functioning up until now. Several years ago, we had Melton and Helene. They were back to back. Melton generated a ton of debris. It was all on the street. We had to make a call as to we're going into another storm, and we needed to get the first storm's debris off the street. So we put together a plan to do it with Waste Pro, just like we had with anybody else. After the events, they said, "Hey, how we get paid for all this stuff?" And that's when we kind of looked and said, "Well, we've never been billed by anybody that's ever held our contract before, so." That question's not really it's always just been it's been included. They brought some evidence and some information to me that said it does make sense. It's not included. It's extra work we're expecting them to do and be able to do. So we should be able to provide them some payment for that. So taking the language that was given to me from our Waste Pro folks, we put together this, which was how you got to the percentages and how you got to the averages to be able to figure out how to pay and when that does kick in after the fact. So that's what's incorporated in all that document. It's really just the mechanism to be able to pay them and authorize to pay them for additional storm debris.
Good. So I guess we're going to look at maybe what my understanding of reading it was an annual average of what's being picked up tonnage wise, and then anything that exceeds that based on the storm or something like that.
It's 2 years. We have data for every month of landscape waste and all collection that they've done for every single month for the entire time they've been here, which has now been over 2 years. So we have over 2 years worth of data. So we go back 2 years where there's not a named storm in that month. Sometimes that can be tricky during our stormed name month season. Dance around that one a little more. Anyway, so during that time period, obviously we you don't know what you're going to have. So
Sure.
So this just kind of gives us the mechanism in place that says, hey, when we know what's coming, and then we'll reach out to them as soon as we're all doing that prep. We're going to be doing all those conversations in advance so that they know what we're doing and we know what we're doing, and we can go both directions.
So yeah, nor'easters sometimes bring more damage than hurricanes.
It does, and that's where it becomes important. I mean, this does require some event or some need, but this would at least be the mechanism that we'd have some way to figure out how to pay them moving forward.
So I just want to say that they've been doing an amazing job as a waste management company. At least I hear from my neighbors and what I get to witness myself. And I just want to make sure that they're made full and the past services that they came to us about. So that was my biggest concern. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jansen. Ms. Golding.
Dennis, so you mentioned that the prior waste providers, it was just part of the contract.
Mm-hmm.
Going forward, when we put an RFP out or whatever for the next contract,
Mm-hmm.
are we going to include that in the contract, or are we going to leave that as a separate thing like it is now?
So since we're on year 3 of a 5-year contract, this would become part of that contract now. That contract also has a potential of a 5-year extension because of the cost of jumping in and out of garbage. You can't just snap your fingers and have somebody new collecting tomorrow. They just can't get the equipment, put that into place that fast. So we have to do that with a longer term provider because the cost of overhead of jumping into that business we can't do at the drop of a hat. So knowing that this would be part of that renewal, and then so when we get ready to go out again at the end of that 5-year time frame, as long as they're continuing to meet your needs and requests and our needs and requests, then we'll do a renewal at that time, and then it would continue to 5 years, and then at that point somebody will need to incorporate it into the next RFP as needed. If you add up all them numbers, I won't be that guy.
But I guess, is it safe to say that, I mean, is it better to include it in the contract, or is it better to, have it paid separately?
It's muddy no matter where, because it's just the same thing. If you tell somebody, I don't want to see a line item, but I don't mind paying you for it, you just put it somewhere else. You really don't know where it belongs. So, if you're asking me, is this the right thing? I believe this is the right thing for the right reason, because we have no mechanism to include it. And when you think about it, in an event of a big event, we're going to call somebody and spend lots of money to get them to come in and do that. So isn't it rightfully so, if they're doing extra work above and beyond and they're meeting our needs, shouldn't we also have a mechanism to be able to pay them for that service? In the past, it's not been. It's just kind of been rolled in. There's a lot that gets rolled in, and in my opinion, that's a lot more fluff that can get stuffed into dollars and cents that we pass on that we don't know is there because it's all accumulated up. So I think it accounts for it a little better, knowing that that's where we're spending that dollars if we need to.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Wouters?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Director Barron, I just have one question or two. Will this, if I think I'm factually correct when I say our waste bill times in the last few years, will this result in another increase for people, the residents?
It will not. Of course, we never. I mean, you're gonna make me say it, aren't you? We're down to within a couple of weeks, and if we skate through the next couple of weeks with no activity, we skated through a very successful year where it couldn't have cost anybody anything because there was nothing to collect. In a worst case scenario, yes, if we have 13 storms in a row and all 13 are all done by Waste Pro, yeah, there's going to be some dollars that's owed and it's going to have to come up with it somewhere. But in that event, we also can go back to FEMA. We can do some other things to try to seek some reimbursement depending on what's going on. But I mean, we have a set reserve we hold to be able to be ready in the event of a hurricane or any other event that we need to drop a pile of money. We have that set back so that we can spend it and then we can recoup it back into our fund.
Well, then one last question. In the next 2 years of this contract, will the residents experience any more price increases for the service they provide?
I believe we are just at CPI increase only on an annual, correct? Yes, I have verification from finance that is correct. So it's only based on the CPI percentage adjustment each year, which I think is around, what is it in sanitation? Do you know? 3 to 4% a year? Or is it more than that? I don't know offhand. We'd have to get back to
nominal
percentages. Yeah, it's a smaller incremental increase just to keep up with the cost of living every year.
Thank you, Director Brown. I appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Horn?
Sorry, you mentioned the contract portion or some of the numerical stuff that came to you, the waste management company provided to you, and then you said, okay, let's put this in here. I'm just going to ask a yes/no question. You're comfortable with the number in here as far as the cost?
Yeah, I am. It's a reasonable request. It's right where they're charging the other beaches. It's not like, if you put it on one side of the road, it's going to be charged at a different rate. We're right in line with Neptune, which is who their other contract holder is local. So it's right where it belongs.
Thank you.
That's a good thing we pulled that off the consent agenda. Well done, Mr. Jansen. Any other questions or comments? Madam Clerk, roll call.
Councilmember Wagner,
Yes.
Councilmember Wouters,
Yes.
Councilmember Golding,
Yes.
Councilmember Horn,
Yes.
Councilmember Jansen,
Yes.
Councilmember Sutton,
Yes.
Mayor Hoffman.
Yes, motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Barrett. CRA Manager Mobs, please.
Yes, good evening. Taylor Mobbs, CRA Coordinator. Tonight, you have an amended South End plan. The last time we amended this was in 2022. I don't think I had even been here quite a full year yet, so that update was really to just come into compliance with where we needed to be statutorily and to get some critical pieces into that plan that mirrored our CIP. So then the next big update after that was the downtown, which you saw a few months ago. And going forward, we wanted to make both plans consistent and mirror each other. We wanted them to be easy to read and easy to follow and not have 100 pages of just kind of filler information, and really keep them concise and content heavy and very easy for staff, the CRA board, the council, and the public to read. The biggest changes in there are going to be like I said, the consistency with downtown. They almost look identical, so I have to be very careful when I'm looking at the binders and make sure I pick up the right one. And that we're adding public art in this. We've never had that before. We feel like it's done really, really well downtown. We've gotten a lot of great feedback. We also have a lot of really talented local artists, so why not find more areas to feature them? And then a practice that's been in place since 2019, which is the TIF taking 50% of that revenue for the South End. Like I said, we've been doing that since 2019. This adds a section in the plan that just kind of calls that out specifically. Something I pointed out to the CRA was just because it's listed in here, it does not make it official. We still would have to adopt a reduction by resolution or just continue doing it annually administratively. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Can I have a motion, please? I'm sorry, Madam Clerk, will you read the rest? Oh, wait, we don't have to do that anymore. Never mind. Old habits die really hard. May I have a motion, please?
It's okay. I did the same thing in substitution.
Okay, good.
I move we adopt resolution number 2201-2025, adopting an updated South End Community Redevelopment Plan.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions from council? Mr. Horn?
The addition of art is wonderful. It's a great idea. Is that something that's going to have any impact on the $900,000 that's listed in here for a passive park?
Nope.
Okay.
That has been, fortunately, depending on how you look at it, budgeted for the last 2 fiscal years. That is the passive park on South Beach Parkway. That's currently just that wooded lot. So those $900,000 have always been allocated for that project. This does not add any or change that.
Okay. I'm going to reach back out to you next week on that. Thank you.
Yep. That doesn't mean there can't be art. It just will not come out of that budget line item.
Mr. Wouters?
Thank you, Mayor. I was just curious, what does, can you define public art a little bit? What does that mean?
Yeah, so just like with the downtown art program, we've got the sculpture, we've got several murals. So what we're looking at would just be the addition of, for example, on where the passive park is slated for right now, there's kind of going to be a big open section that doesn't really have much to it. We're not trying to put in anything that's going to activate necessarily, but to maybe have a big, nice Jack's Beach sculpture, something like that could go there. We want to put a nice sculpture somewhere at the entryway to the Sunshine Park, somewhere near the playground. And then there's a couple of areas that have just kind of got some big blank walls that could have some really nice murals to kind of brighten up the space. So that's what we'll be looking at with public art.
And how do you solicit artists for that?
There's a couple of ways. Initially, when we first started it downtown a couple of years ago, we did issue a big national call. We got a ton of applicants. The first couple of artists we pulled were from those big national calls. Under chapter, I believe it's chapter 287, Florida state statutes, public art is one section that is exempt from standard procurement processes. So you don't have to issue a call, you can solicit pieces. So what we've done with the last couple of murals is we've got a wonderful pool of local candidates that have submitted their portfolios and their work, and we've reached out to them. We've been able to commission pieces directly from local artists. So we'll kind of work with the art committee and the CRA and as well as council, and when we do get ready to issue whatever that first piece may be, it may be as simple as we're able to commission a mural from a local artist. If it's a much larger sculpture and the direction is, hey, we want to expand this further or get additional applicants, then we can also issue a call to artists.
Thank you, Ms. Mobbs.
Yep.
I just want to compliment how visually appealing it is.
Thank you.
It's easy for a layperson to read and understand, and I am always going to compliment the alignment with the strategic priorities and objectives of our city. So,
Yes, thank you.
very nicely done there. And of course, anybody who knows me knows that I am always a fan of adding public art into any plan that we do. Any other questions or comments from council? Madam Clerk, roll call.
Councilmember Wouters,
Yes.
Councilmember Golding,
Yes.
Councilmember Horn,
Yes.
Councilmember Jansen,
Yes.
Councilmember Sutton,
Yes.
Councilmember Wagner,
Yes.
Mayor Hoffman.
Yes, motion carries. All right, we're moving on to, I think, the reason many of us are still here. We have two items. Resolutions B and C are both related to the Jacksonville Beach Golf Club. So I think what we'll do is kind of have staff give us an update. Do you guys want to update together, both items at the same time? And then we'll do public comment on both items kind of together because I think they really go hand in golf glove. Come on up.
Good evening. Trevor Hughes, Chief of Parks Development and Maintenance, Jacks Beach Parks and Recreation Department. Addressing the first item, the golf course is an enterprise fund expected to remain sustainable on its own. It's been our practice in recent years to revisit the rates for the golf course every 2 years. Our rates include some modest adjustments. We still remain the least expensive course in the reasonable area. We've also had the addition of one additional fee, and that being a league fee. Other than that, all other fees, all other types of fees remain the same, just a small increase to reflect the changes in the market. And you want me to go on to the next one?
If you don't mind, I think it'll just be easier.
Okay, sounds good. So the changes in the bylaws were stemmed from recent feedback that we've received over the last, this is in my way, I'll close it. It's been feedback that we've received over the past year or so. And in this feedback, we've received constantly that we're not able to make tee times. And we chalked it up, the demand is high, the course is in good shape, we're viable. And we continue to receive the feedback. And it came to our attention, hey, look, the same groups have the same tee times every week. The same people are playing the golf course 3 and 4 times a week. Saturdays, the same groups every single Saturday. And when we did a deep dive into it, we looked in it, and the complaints were warranted. Doing a review, there's only 6 tee times on Saturday morning available to the public. All the other morning tee times are pre-booked and determined pre-existing to groups and other items. We also took a dive and looked into our weekdays. And although we have a tremendous support from our groups in the weekday traffic, they do have guaranteed tee times every Monday, every Wednesday. Ladies groups have tee times every Tuesday, every Thursday. And so after reviewing these times and seeing that as a public golf course, it is not fair or equitable for every single week to be filled with the same people. So we've identified two areas to help make tee times fair and equitable to the entire community. First of all, is we would like to limit league play to 2 days a week. I'm sorry, it's actually 4 days a week if you include Saturday and Sunday. But on the weekdays, we're going to reduce it from 4 days to 2 days. All right, and then we're going to limit the number of spaces that are locked on the weekends. So we are going to reduce those spaces. But ultimately, this comes down to being fair and equitable and giving everybody the opportunity. The other change that we're going to make tee time reservations, because what happens is people learn the system. Right now you can book a tee time 3 weeks out. The different people have kind of strategized. Hey, you go after 7:23. You go after 7:30. You go after this time, and at 7 o'clock, exactly 3 weeks out, the entire tee sheet is booked. And so to help with that instance, we're going to bring that window a little bit closer from 21 days to a 10-day, and we're going to move that booking time from 7 p.m. to a 3 a.m. where someone's going to have to get up, and it's going to be a little more strategic. On the weekends, we will be freeing up to the public 56. Well, on the weekends, we will be freeing up 36 spaces on Saturdays, 32 on Thursdays, and 56 on Monday. 124 opportunities for people to be open and fair and equitable. Everyone have equal shots to make tee times. The groups will still be allowed to make their tee times on Mondays and Thursdays. They'll just have to compete with all the other general public. Once they procure their tee times through the process, we will allow access to the Golf Genius software. Right now, a lot of the groups, they'll play their different games, they'll organize through the Golf Genius software. We'll still allow them to use that at that time. The other opportunity they could have is we will allow the pre-booking after 10 a.m. with a $10 pre-booking fee. And that frees up the prime tee times and gives everybody the opportunity to come out and enjoy the public space. That's right. I'm ready for questions.
Thank you, Mr. Hughes. You may want to just stay close. So we'll go ahead and go to public comment. As I mentioned earlier, and just to preface this, I will say some of us, a lot of you, and I have been on council long enough to remember when this golf course was not something people would come out fighting for. And as a council member, we were throwing good money after bad. So making decisions to make sure that this is such a desirable place to play is refreshing and new to me. So in terms of my tenure on council, so it's a good problem to have. I know you may not see it that way, but from where I sit, I definitely appreciate the efforts of the staff, the efforts of the grounds maintenance back to when we completely redid the course, and all of yours and your pride in the course. And I think that's really important. We do have quite a few speaker cards. We also have, about a month ago, had some courtesy of the floor, probably about 25 or 30 minutes of comments regarding the golf course. And I know that we've all gotten probably a couple dozen emails. So we have definitely heard from you on this subject, but I'm going to limit this speakers tonight to 2 minutes each, just because, again, if you should really be able, you can make your points in 2 minutes to give us those things to consider as we go forward with our decision making. And the alternative, I could limit the total amount of time, but I want to make sure everybody who has a card up here has the opportunity to speak a little. But also, please don't feel obligated if what you were planning to say has already been said. You're welcome to say ditto. That being said, we do have a few cards of people who do not wish to speak, but have a position on the item. If you want to wave your hand, Julie Claremont opposes the second part of the item, which is course bylaws. Gibby Peace, she supports B and opposes C, so supports the rates and opposes the bylaw adjustments. Lois, thank you, opposes the second item, which is the court amending the course bylaws. Barbara Traylor, same, opposes the item that amends the course bylaws. Jane Tyska, thank you, Jane. Same, opposes the resolution that amends the bylaws. Diane Eimer, same position, opposes the resolution that amends the bylaws. James Bremer, thank you, James, supports B, which is the rate adjustments, and opposes C, the amendment to the bylaws. Joan Bauer, thank you, Joan, opposes the amendment to the bylaws. Patrick Norris opposes the golf course changes. Ed Gill, thank you, Ed, opposes the change to the bylaws. Roger Donnellan opposes the change to the bylaws. And then Sean Cantix. Sean, thank you for being here. And it doesn't specifically say, please let us keep our tee times at Jack's Beach Golf Club. Thank you all for being here and submitting your speaker cards. And these are those that wish to address the council. Please come up to the microphone. Make sure the light is green. State your name and address, and then I'll start the clock. And you'll have 2 minutes to address the council. Thomas Griffin.
Thomas Griffin. I'm a resident of Ponte Vedra, a Beaches Energy customer.
Just state your address, please.
122 Glen Cove Place.
Ponte Vedra Beach,
Ponte
Florida.
Vedra Beach or St. Johns County.
Thank you.
All right. The first time I played Jacksonville Beach was approximately 10 years ago. I paid less than $6 to walk 9 holes, probably because I'm a Beaches Energy customer and a senior. And I paid too much. It was in that bad a shape. And I really am amazed that the course is as good as it is now. I mean, it's a beautiful course, and I can understand why lots of people want to play it. I cannot understand why you would dismiss the most loyal customers you have in the hope that somebody else might take their place. It makes no sense to me. The leagues are the loyal customers of this course. And yes, people do complain about the course being hard to book, but I look at that as a success. In other words, what y'all have done with this course is amazing. The definition of success is having more than you can sell, having it tough to get courses, tee times there. And I don't think this idea of fairness, I don't know what that is. Everybody has an equal chance of booking now. It doesn't make any sense to me. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Griffin. Robert Davis.
Robert Davis, 14560 San Pablo Drive North, Jacksonville. Tee times are approximately 7 minutes apart. So in an hour, you're going to get anywhere between 7 to 8 tee times. Golf course is open for at least 8 hours. So you're looking at a minimum of 60 tee times a day. Today, when the putters played, I was in one of the last groups, and as I came across the 7th tee, I saw that there was nobody on 4, there was nobody on 3, there was one group on 2. There should have been 7 groups, but there's only one. Why? Because of the 3-week computer. People will go out 3 weeks in advance and book times. And 3 weeks later, 2 weeks later, they can't play that day. So they just don't show up. So, yes, today, as gorgeous as it was, there was nobody out there at 9:07, 9:14, 9:21, 9:28, 9:35. Why not? Lost that money. It's not the putter's fault. Putters didn't take away that money from you. And if you look at your number of tee times, in a week, if you got 70 tee times a day, you got 490 a week. You want to take away 12 from the putters to change the problem? Those 12 tee times is going to make it available for everybody to come on. And you also have to remember the putters, come on, come all. You can join us. We've had a number of people that recently joined. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Davis. Tracy Winfrey.
Hi, Tracy Winfrey. I currently live at 3146 Misty Creek in Jacksonville. I have lived at the beaches a number of times. I know you've got a tough situation. People complain. They come to you and complain, and you want to do something to help them out. But if you look at it from a business point of view, it is true that there are a number of months where you probably have some people who want to play that have a hard time getting the tee times. I think part of that is probably the system. I've tried to go on it, and even though I've seen open tee times when I get there, you can't get them. So I think something needs to be done with the system. But my greatest point is this. We support that in the tough months, in the cold months. There have been a number of days where the temperature starts in the 40s, and I've seen numerous of our tee times going out. And if you disband or really limit this group of golfers, they'll get used to going to other courses on certain days of the week, and then you'll get to the 5-6 months a year that will be used to going to other courses, and you won't get much play. I think you really need to look at the actual use, how many people are actually there during the mornings. I was there about 3 weeks ago, teed off, and it was a beautiful day, probably 15 degrees warmer than it was today. And yet there was at least 20 minutes, I went on out on the course, but at least 20 minutes that nobody else teed off behind us. I don't know if year round there's really this much demand. I'm also part of one of the Saturday groups, and I do think that maybe some more fairness on Saturday does make sense. But during the week, we are the ones that are really keeping the course maintained and also being out there in the cold months.
Thank you, Mr. Winfrey. Holden Hackbarth?
My name is Holden Hackbarth, and my address is 4515 Hanover Park Drive in Jacksonville. Thank you, Mayor Hoffman and council members for hearing us again. I'm the president of the seniors group, Jack Beach Golf Club Seniors. This group has been really loyal, as people have mentioned, and we continue on, and now the course is in great shape, in no short part due to Trevor. I mean, we love playing there, and I'm sure there's a lot of complaints that happened this summer because the course was just marvelous. But I want to talk a little bit more about another item that's in the new bylaws, and that's the just having one men's league on Wednesday. Now I've talked with Tony Street about keeping the league separate, and they said they would do it, but that could be turned away in an instant. I mean, I would like to see that in the bylaws or in some amendment where we actually have two separate leagues on Wednesday. Because we each have our own friends in the leagues. We play our own games. They operate completely differently. We use Golf Genius extensively. I think they're going to start using it next year along with the ladies. But that's my big problem right now. I mean, I want to keep our league autonomous and be able to run it. We also object to the $50 league fee. And that, right now that's my, one item that I would like to see changed or amended. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hackbarth. Carol Fisher?
Hello. To the Honorable Christine Hoffman and members of the City Council of Jacksonville Beach.
Just start with your name and address.
I am voicing my name and address. Carol Fisher, 5469 River Trail Road North, Jacksonville, Florida. Okay. What I'm doing is voicing my concerns to the city on proposed changes to the E-League at Jack's Beach Golf Course. I am requesting the council deny and oppose Resolution 2204-2025, amending the golf course bylaws, especially ones reorganizing the E-League. I've been in the Women's E-League for 15 years and represent the voice of over 100 women in this league. We are mainly senior citizens who take up only 13% of the tee times per week. It's not the same women each week either. They were saying the same people are signing up all the time. We have 100 women and we only have 60 some spots. So it changes which women get to play. It changes. So this is a public golf course. The public should include these seniors. I wonder if it's about money more than providing a system that is more accessible and equitable to all. I'd like for you to vote to keep the Women's League as is. Our E-League is a jewel in the community of Jacksonville Beach, and it's been here together for 35 years. We're volunteers at TPC, First Tee, and other activities in the community, and we're like family. It is designed and coordinated in an organized manner to inspire seniors to stay active, learn new skills, and provide camaraderie. We seniors look forward to that one day of golf with our close-knit league. As seniors, we want to stay active. We want the community to support us seniors and not disperse this group. and its leader who works to coordinate our tea times and everything for us so that we're together in sets of four, one after the other. She makes sure that we play on time, that we end on time, and she provides the best experience. And she has a coordinated sign-up system that has worked for 35 years.
And just bring it to a wrap, Miss Fisher. Your time is up. You just wrap it up.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. So, through the Women's League, we're inspired and driven to get back on the course when we have a lot of injuries and stuff. And one thing our coordinator does is when someone doesn't show up on the day of their tea time, she immediately calls on the phone and gets someone to take their place. So that helps out the course too, in that you don't have people that are no-shows in a league. So anyway, so I would like for you all to deny 2204.
Thank you, Ms. Fisher.
Okay. And I'm talking for 100 strong.
Thank you. Muriel Bremer.
Good evening. Thank you for hearing me. I am not a golfer. I'm a wife of a golfer who is a senior citizen. And my name is Muriel Bremer, and I live at 1219 10th Street, North Jacksonville Beach, Florida. And the reason for my position is I look at this room and I see many, many older gentlemen who have no one. They don't have a wife. Their children maybe live out of town. And they so look forward to getting together. They also are of the age that they pay a considerable amount of taxes to our community and help sustain our businesses. They support the restaurants and the businesses in our community. I was diagnosed a couple years ago with stage 3 breast cancer, and it has been an extremely challenging journey for myself, my husband, our friends, and family. It's not about me, but it is about my husband and the depression that I have seen him manage through my challenges, and how joyful he is on Sunday night when he knows he's going to go and meet and play with his friends on Monday or Wednesday. It is very important to these gentlemen to have a reason to get up in the morning, to be able to spend their money that they've earned and that they are contributing to this community through their camaraderie and their friendships. And I know it isn't always about the money, but we do need to pay attention to these older gentlemen who many don't have anything else to do. They don't have a reason to get up in the morning, and they become depressed and they become sedentary. But I thank you for your time. I just want you to know that as a non-golfer, I don't get it. But I do get the fact that these gentlemen look forward to the camaraderie. They look forward to their day together. And I have seen my husband every single Monday and Wednesday leave my home at 6:15 or 6:30. And he's out on that course, rain, shine, freezing ASS cold. He's out there. And there are a lot of golfers that are whining because they can't get on the course, but you've heard many of them say that they are seeing a long period of time where no one's been out there golfing. So please think about these older gentlemen who also are our very strong tax-paying community sponsors. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Bremer. Kathy Hall.
Kathy Hall, 1639 6th Street South, Jacksonville Beach. In Resolution 2204-2025, it recognizes leagues that will be on Tuesday Women's League, a Wednesday Men's League, a Saturday Mixer League, and a Sunday Mixer League. The Tuesday League and the Thursday E-League are two different beasts. We have different rules and we have different goals. Trevor has assured me they would accommodate E-League on Tuesdays. I suspect now that means $10 league fee, which now puts our fee up to $48, not including tax, which now we're over $51. Okay, E-League, this leaves me feeling like E-League is a stepchild. It should make you feel like you are asked to vote on something that has not yet been defined. If E-League moves to Tuesday, will there be fewer complaints about no tee times? The number of complaints is an unknown number. Apparently, there is no data or log kept of the number of complaints, nor the days, nor the times that people complain about. I have heard no one come before this council saying they are in favor of these resolutions. E-League is not asking for more time. We use 1 hour a week. What is the difference if that happens on Tuesday or Thursday? Unless that is not what is really intended for E-League when we are accommodated. I'm quite sure that the bylaws amendment regarding annual and beach passes are designed to deter people from, let me call it, rigging the reservation system. Okay, however, unless other stopgaps are in place, I don't think 7 a.m. to 3 or 7 p.m. to 3 a.m. is going to do it. I doubt that a 10-day advance reservation policy will substantially reduce or stop anyone or any group from reserving blocks of time in advance. I really have few issues with this amendment, except for two things: getting rid of E-League, and second, there's no data. There's no yardstick to measure if these changes will effectively reduce complaints, which is supposedly the reason for the bylaws changes. This course is more than self-sufficient. For that, there is data. Are the changes in these two resolutions before you motivated by money and control issues, with little regard to the senior citizens who comprise 28% of Jacksonville Beach population, and who, for the past 30 years, have provided a steady stream of income for this course? Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Hall. Bob Como?
Bob Cuomo, 4456 Apple Leaf Drive, East Jacksonville. I'm not quite ready to speak. I was just reforming my thoughts. When Bruce Moeller came here 5 years ago, when the course was rebuilt, he sat down with all the leagues, all the members, every concerned party, and we went over all the tee times for all the groups, days of the week. Everything was organized, and he affirmed all the regulations from the past. So this goes back 40 years, all these leagues and associations. And that would have been a time for him to say, we want to take the first tee time in the morning. And he didn't ask for it then. The rec department is not asking for it now. They could have come to us and said, let's have a meeting, all of us, and we'll take the first tee time every morning and give it to the general public. But they didn't ask. They just want this resolution, and it seems like it's control, a lot of control. The league people do not call up and make tee times and sell them to other people. We don't call up, make tee times, block tee times, and then don't show up. That problem is not us. We book in Golf Genius, and the course knows exactly how many people are coming, and we pay. Our members always show up. We're like the Ladies League. If someone can't make it, we have people waiting to play. Has anybody spoken in favor of this resolution? Any public person? Any golfer? That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Como. Tom Richardson?
Thank you, Tom Richardson, 216 33rd Avenue South, Jacksonville Beach. I've been in the putters for about 10 years, and we've seen things go from the painted desert, we used to call it, to what it is now. And it's just super job, everything. Just first off, it seems a little bit odd that one person or a group can make a change without a little more communication with particular groups and get their creativity that we've all heard tonight. The second thing is there's some money here that we've actually calculated based on what people spend every week, including tee balls and stuff. By cutting the Monday tee times, the golden putters alone, that Monday for the whole year is worth approximately $78,000, and that's a consistent number that comes in, every Monday for the year, 78,000. You are deleting guaranteed play and fees. No, we say guaranteed. People sign up, they say they're going to be there, but our guarantee is actually fulfilled because we show up. You'll be deleting fee management scheduled for players and tee times. We manage our own tee times. In other words, people, if there's an opening, people call, replace that person, that sort of thing. And if the city was to do this, they would need to pay a person to do what both groups do for free. We call when players can't make the tee times due to sicknesses, doctor's appointments, night prior, etc. All kinds of reasons people don't show up. And then one of the larger ones in the morning. And I've seen this many times. I say, am I going to really go to the golf course and try to play today? But the putters show up. The first time we had a cold front, and there'll be more, the seniors and the putters teed off regular times, but there wasn't anybody behind them waiting to play on a ad hoc basis, not part of a league. There was limited play compared to the better weather days. So this is a big factor too. On the pricing, we do generally agree with the pricing that the price of everything goes up and we have to keep reinvesting in all the chemicals and the machinery. And that's basically all we have to say here. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Richardson. Bill Egan?
Good evening. Bill Egan, 3063 Cypress Creek Drive, Ponte Vedra Beach. Recommending disapproval of the proposed bylaws. I did send an email out earlier today outlining the key issues. So I'm not going to repeat them here. Repeat them here. I would like to point out, though, that as you heard, the proposed bylaw changes are numerous and they're very significant. And while I recommend denial, I'd be amenable to postponing the vote pending further discussion and maybe separating out the different issues. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Egan. Charles Carbo?
Thank you, Mayor and Councilman, for the opportunity to speak to you. My name is Charlie Carbo. I'm a resident of Neptune Beach and a Beaches Energy customer. I reside at 101 Margaret Street. I'm a member of the Jacks Beach Senior Men's Golf League, one of the men's golf leagues, and currently I'm the treasurer. I want to speak to Resolution 2204 about the bylaw changes. I, as well as my fellow golfers, appreciate the council's concern about problems at Jack Beach Golf Course with the tee time availability, and I recognize that something has to change to resolve this. Change is best accomplished when both pros and cons are evaluated, and these changes are communicated to the parties that are involved. Indeed, the changes that Trevor has put forward will change some things. However, I believe these changes have not been properly evaluated for their full impact, particularly any negative impact to the revenue stream that the golf course realizes. I also believe that the changes that are proposed are far from optimal, and I think that a better outcome can be accomplished by seeking input from the leagues. The proposed changes will destroy what has been a long and fruitful relationship between our league and the golf course, and it undermines what has been an excellent activity for our senior men. So I urge you to vote no on the proposed bylaw changes, and I suggest that you ask for a reworked proposal that will provide a better outcome. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Mr. Carbo. Barb McHugh? Did I get that? Yes.
Madam Mayor, members of the council, thank you. My name is Barbara McHugh. I live at 616 Bon Air Circle here in Jacks Beach. I am opposed primarily to both of these resolutions, and I point to your audience here who have concerns about it. It's primarily seniors. That advanced booking fee is an additional fee above tee times and others, is the way I understand it in the bylaws, and I believe it probably would be a hardship on some of these seniors. E-League has been mentioned. I'm a member of E-League for 10 years. It's a ladies' recreational league of sorts. We very seldom have cancellations. People have talked about that, and I just want to give a little bit of data. Someone asked for that. I look back for the last several months, that E-League uses 11 tee times Thursday mornings. and it starts at about 9 o'clock. It actually has a small morning group and a very small afternoon group for a total of 70 minutes of tea times on one day. And if you consider most days we probably get 10 hours of tea times or 600 minutes, if my math is correct. I also would like to make a suggestion that perhaps you do solicit a little more input from your audience, from your golfers. The course is wonderful. You do a great job. It's in terrific condition. I come from a long golfer family and some pros and all that sort of thing. I also would like to suggest that if you find it's hard to get tee times, a lot of the major courses around the country are now using some credit cards required to make bookings. And if you don't show or you cancel in less than 48 hours, you pay a cancellation fee. More revenues. I understand right now our revenues are pretty good. We're self-sustaining. And I think that perhaps we don't need to raise these costs too much, but can look for other alternative sources of revenue. And just a quick observation on Thursday mornings. Since this issue has come up and there's been discussion among the golfers about this, several of us have looked around, and another person mentioned this. There are empty holes before us and behind us because, you wind up and down. So you get this view of holes. We also see a lot of twosomes. So you could get more golfers out with a little different kinds of management, I believe, and you could fill more tee times. Perhaps people aren't showing, perhaps they are booked. I don't know, but I think it's something worth looking into at this point. I also would suggest that
we could just bring it into a wrap.
Okay,
Thank you.
Suggest thank you and try and consider the women equal to the men when you make your decisions.
Thank you, Mrs. McHugh. Sue Buck.
Okay, I'm Sue Buck, 1334 Plantation Oaks Drive North at Jacksonville Beach. And I agree with just about everything that someone said. I really oppose the booking fee, but I do agree with getting the credit card and charging a cancellation fee. I'm also not, the league fee is too absorbent. For my group, it's the afternoon group on Thursday afternoon. We have 4 tee times. And in the wintertime, we start at 3 o'clock. Well, you're lucky to even get done. And nobody wants those tee times. Because they can't play 18 holes, or they are lucky to play 9 holes. And then as the summer goes, in the summer, we start at 5 o'clock. So we get done around 7 o'clock. So it's not a sought after tee time, and it's only 4 tee times. And we've been a group, it's a group of seniors. We're on limited income, and I don't agree with the league fee, and I don't agree with the booking fee. The league fee of $11, but I do agree with the increase in cost. But do keep in mind, if you could keep the senior fee, that helps out a lot, because we do have a good senior fee at the course. And it's a wonderful course. Mary Lyons started that group as a working women's club, and I've been in it for 23 years. It's a great social club, and we have so much fun. We take trips together. We do lots of stuff together. It's not just golf. And if you watched us golf, you would know that. So anyway, but that's basically, I agree with what people have said. And just as a little addition, I'd like to add that we've been there through the tough times, and we played out there when it was like a cow pasture. And it's in wonderful shape now, and we try to keep it in good shape. But look at the fiscal thing. You're going to lose money if you lose the league. And we have ages 30 to 83 in our group. So we've got a wide range of the ladies playing, and we're all good friends, and it's a great thing for the seniors. So anyway, I hope that you'll keep it and let us play on. We'd love to continue to play on Thursday afternoon. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Buck. Lloyd Archibald.
and council members. My name is Lloyd Archibald. I live at 127 7th Avenue North, Jacks Beach, just down the road here. I'm against changing all of this for the golfers. It's your idea. We have a pro that runs the tee times and all that stuff. All right, just leave it the way it is. Everybody's happy, doing fine. Yes, I realize there are people that don't get the tee times that they want that particular day. We show up every day with 30, 40 members, our group, and we pay and play, and we have a wonderful time. We're all senior citizens. We got no other sport that we play anymore. I wish we could, but we don't. And I think that we have a pro that has been running the pro shop there quite well for quite a long time, a couple of years now anyway. But why do we have to change things now? For 40 years, this group has been playing together and having a wonderful time. There's no need for it. And I hope you people all hear that and vote our way on that. You've got many people here that are all in favor of continuing on the way we have been playing. We pay our way. We respect the course. We take care of it. You do a good job taking care of the course. Stick with that. Don't get into the politics.
It's way too late for that for Trevor. Sorry.
Hey, he asked for it. He got it.
Thank you, Mr. Archibald. Tom Kelper?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Tom Kuiper? Sorry, Kuiper?
Hi, my name's Tom Kuiper. I live at 1705 Pitch Pine Avenue, St. Johns County. So what am I doing up here? Right. Well, I represent probably 80 tee times that play at Jacks Beach. Okay. We're a bunch of seniors. We call ahead of time. We pay a premium. And we're courtesy enough. We fill in 4 full tee times, maybe 5. If we don't make the 5th one, we're courteous enough to call and say we don't need it. Okay, so that to me is a suggestion that we'll play here 4 times a year. So you really, I don't think, have a tee time problem. Okay, if people plan far enough ahead. So that's one of my issues. The second one is the prices. From what I saw in the letter, you're talking about a 25% increase or a 33% increase. We're out of town. We get the 33% increase plus the premium for booking ahead of time. A lot of us are on fixed incomes. What you're gonna end up doing is price yourself out of a golf course. To me, greed for a golf course is a very bad thing. All right, I understand this golf course made money, a lot of money last year, and I have to say, you put a lot of money back in it. It looks really nice. We enjoy playing it. But I think you need to think a little bit about the people that play there and what you're charging them. That's about all I have to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Kuiper. That's it for our speaker cards. So we will go ahead and go to Resolution B and start our council debate and vote on the first one. If I can have a motion.
I move we adopt resolution number 2119-2025, amending rates for the Jacksonville Beach Golf Course.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion by council. Mr. Horn.
One of the things that one of the comments we heard here was a lot of people did not have as much of a problem with the rates as they did with the other issues, which I think are in the next section on the bylaws. but there were some comments there. Can you speak out about what your thoughts are? I mean, there were some comments from people, but the majority of them were in regards to the change in the bylaws. Can you comment on, what we're doing with this, so that, because obviously a lot of people were not in this discussion.
So the notes that I took, first and foremost, the men's league. Initially, when we did this, we said that we were going to combine all leagues into one league. We took all the feedback and we heard all the feedback since the briefing.
Well, hang on.
And we had,
I'm sorry. Are we? But specifically just for rates. Are you going on the rates for the men's league or?
Oh, for the rates?
Yeah, I was just going to talk. I was going to talk about rates.
Okay, so any rates specifically? What I heard was most were okay with the rates. Some of I think the little bit of confusion that I heard was the $10 pre-booking fee. The leagues will not have the $10 pre-booking fee. The leagues will have a one-time a year $50 league management fee. To allow the assistants and the golf pro to come in and work a little more intricately with them and to help that side out.
That was brought up that somebody mentioned was do we not charge? Do we not require a deposit for? Because somebody brought up, hey, if that's true, that's surprising to me.
So currently, our point of sale system does not allow for pre-booking fees. We are working through that. We may be back to you here in the near future to speak about pre-booking fees or deposits. But right now, our current point of sale does not allow for that type of system.
Can you roughly give me a number as to how many cancellations we have weekly, monthly, yearly?
We do 65,000 rounds a year. You would have to go all the way up to Myrtle Beach or Hilton Head to find a course that's close to that amount of rounds. Do we have some no-shows and some cancellations? Sure. But at that type of rounds, not anything like we're happy that they don't show up. 65,000 rounds by far exceeds anything that a golf course should be able to handle. We would much rather have about 50,000 rounds a year to have a more sustainable product, to have a more sustainable that just does not get worn out. The next closest golf course in the area as far as rounds is probably St. John's Golf and Country Club at like 52 to 54,000 rounds a year. From my standpoint, we do not have a no-show issue. I'm not saying there are zero no-shows, but it is not an issue. Our rounds are through the roof.
Okay. And the numbers in regards to the pricing that we've established here, because I'm looking at the comparisons. So we're a touch above St. John's, equal with Sebastian, a little above Windsor Park and Hidden Hills, and Queens Harbor we're below. Just kind of looking at some of those rates here. So I think, and that's for the weekdays. On the weekends, we're actually below everybody still, even with a modest increase. So I think, is the goal here just to get us, one of the things that came up earlier, and I'll just comment on it, somebody mentioned the cost of our waste management prices have gone up, and what we realized we hadn't raised those in almost 2 decades, and those went up, and now these are, I don't know when the last time we raised the fees for the course was. Can you tell that?
So we do a fee evaluation every 2 years. The last time we raised the rates was January 2 years ago.
Okay. I think that's all I have in regards to the fees. Thank you.
Mr. Wouters?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Chief Hughes, it's always good to see you. Thank you for your time and expertise. So let me just ask you this to try to get right to the point. For a Monday through Thursday booking for the members of these 4 groups, what sort of increase will they see under this proposal as opposed to what they pay now?
So the majority,
including their fees and all that.
All right, so there will be a $50 per year fee, and then the senior rate goes up $5.50. So the $50 per year fee and a $5.50 increase per round.
Is that true on Monday through Thursday as well as on the weekends?
The weekend is a different fee structure. There is no senior rate on the weekends. But Monday through Thursday, we do offer the senior rate, which these groups, 99% of all the people that play Monday through Thursday in the leagues are seniors. And so that's the rate that will apply to these groups.
And of the 4 groups, how many of the groups play on the weekend rates?
So the weekends, there are multiple groups. There's 4 to 5 groups that play Saturdays, 2 to 3 groups that play on Sundays. And they pay the rate based on whether they're a Beach Pass member or if they're not a Beach Pass member. And they'll play the rate based on. There's the Beach Pass rate, and then there's the public rate on the weekends. And those group fees will pay whatever rate that whether they bought the discount card or not.
Oh, please forgive me. Let me try again.
Okay.
So, I thought we were just talking about 4 distinct groups, not more than that. But for the people in the 4 groups, on a weekend, how much more would they be paying under the proposal?
So in the groups that play on the weekends, the Beach Pass rate, which a lot of these people that play on the weekends will go up $4 for the Beach Pass rate. And then if they are not a Beach Pass member, I have an edit issue. Let's see. 58 to 60.
A net increase of how much then? Please forgive me.
A $2 increase is what I have, or a $4 increase is what I have for the weekend.
Okay.
I got 2 different sheets that somehow are giving me 2 different numbers.
Well, since you mentioned senior rates, I think this might be an appropriate question.
Everyone could just keep down. We were very courteous up here when all of you were
So
speaking.
they're right. It's $72. I was looking at, we do have a dynamic pricing schedule. And so I was looking at the floor rate went up. The floor rate actually stayed the same, and the $5, $72 if you do not have the Beach Pass. So it went up $5. My apologies.
Okay, so they're paying $67 now, and the new rate is $72.
If they do not have the discount card.
Okay, and since you mentioned it, I think it might be appropriate for the next item, but because I noticed that we have the junior rate for the weekdays and for the weekends, but the senior rate only for Monday through Thursday. And I am curious as to why we don't extend that courtesy to the most vulnerable in our group, in our community, to senior citizens.
The senior rate is something that's extended to the seniors Monday through Thursday. Many courses don't have a senior rate, and many courses that have it only offer it 1 day a week. And so this was a policy that was established when we reopened that was industry standard, and we actually exceeded it by offering it more than the competition.
I appreciate that courtesy you've extended to the community. But
The student rate is something that, most students are in school. And in the afternoons, some of them will come out and play as students, and we support youth golf.
Well, I personally would like to see it extended to senior citizens. Thank you.
Mr. Jansen?
So, just couple quick questions. Do we track the no-shows?
We don't currently track the no-shows.
Okay.
We could go through and physically count, as you check people in the spree sheet, we could go back and physically count each day.
Right. I understood what you said earlier too about sometimes that's kind of a gift when the course is, I guess, in the suffering, like last winter when we had that super hard freeze and there were some issues with the course, and instead of limiting play, you could take advantage of the no-shows or even closing it down for 1 day a week. And so then you also made a comment about the amount of rounds that go through the course as compared to Jack's Golf and Country Club. That's not a public course, is it?
No, the course that I compared it to was St. John's Golf and Country Club. And if I misspoke,
I'm sorry, St. John's.
So St. John's Golf and Country Club they call it semi-private, which is a way to say that your public course that offers a membership. The general public can play that course.
Right. So I think if we were comparing apples to apples, we'd have to kind of make it a public course. a wide out public course. And so looking at that, what do we have? Windsor Park, and I don't know of many others unless you're really traveling a good distance.
Yeah, and those courses are around that 50,000 rounds a year.
And are they putting that same amount of rounds through?
They're not even close to 65,000 rounds.
Okay. And then, of course, it was brought up as far as rates are concerned. I think there was some agreement amongst our constituents that with rising costs, there's maintenance that has to be done on the course, on the carts, and as far as land use is concerned, parking lot restriping, all the things. So I kind of agree with that. Thank you.
Are you finished, Mr. Jansen? I'm glad it came up today again. I agree that I think there should be some sort of accountability to a canceled booking. You can't even make a restaurant reservation anymore without putting a credit card down. And I understand that maybe that hole is a gift, just for less play, but that's also somebody that couldn't book that tea time that may have wanted to book that tea time. So I'd rather see us do other ways to kind of move that needle of play, which we've done. Yeah. We've lengthened the tea times and shortened play and done other things like that. So I would rather see us do that and hold people accountable, that they can't just gives me an idea that people can kind of take advantage of Jack's Beach because they know that they can just not show up and have no accountability. So I'd like to see that turned around in all of this. I am glad that we do this kind of competitive analysis. We have a lot of golf clubs in our region, a lot of good, some not so good. And the fact that we're in that upper level, I think is, again, a new experience for me. So I do support looking at this and making sure that we continue to be competitive, offering the senior rates when we do. But I do think that we really need to look hard at making sure there's some accountability there. Any other questions or comments from council on Ordinance B or resolution that I can't read it because I don't have my glasses on? That's where I am in life. 2199-2025. Seeing none, Madam Clerk, roll call.
Councilmember Golding,
Yes.
Councilmember Horn,
Yes.
Councilmember Jansen,
Yes.
Councilmember Sutton,
Yes.
Councilmember Wagner,
Yes.
Councilmember Wouters,
No.
Mayor Hoffman.
Yes. Okay, moving on for a motion on 2024-2025.
I move we adopt resolution number 2204-2025, amending the golf course bylaws.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion from council. Mr. Wagner.
So I want to start by thanking all of you for coming. It's very important, exercising your right. We really do appreciate it. I fear that this is going to be another one of those great exercises where nobody walks away happy. So hopefully we're less unhappy. How about that? I want to dig into a couple of the points that were made, and for us to talk through those to see if we're if we fix the problems we're trying to fix, because we do have time to do that if we need to, right? So, and I'll just share with everybody, I have received numerous phone calls and emails from people who are residents of Jack's Beach, parents who are trying to get young kids out onto the course on a Saturday because they work all day and the kids are in school and they can't get on the course on a Saturday. And I believe one of the gentlemen that spoke even acknowledged that he could see that being something that plays out here in Jack's Beach, and running 65,000 rounds a year through that course. That's not, the data does prove that it's going to probably be difficult on the day that most people can get out there, that it's the hardest to get out there. So my fear though is in now kind of processing through a lot of the feedback and our changes that we've actually moved clubs to Saturday. And so I don't know if we have created excess capacity on Saturday for the young families that are trying to get kids interested in golf, because that's the other, we have lots of different groups that we need to take care of. That's the one we're not taking care of. And at least based on the feedback I continue to get. So do we think that in the current structure of C, where we eliminate some of the league plays during the week, but we create more league play on Saturday. And I know there's 4 or 5 adult leagues, and I know, like, you know, Youngers League and all those other guys' leagues are on either late Friday or Saturday. But I'm just trying to, what's your opinion on that?
We have not added any league play to Saturday. That league play already existed,
Okay.
and we've reduced it. We currently now only offer 6 tee times available to the public. As of today, there's only 6 tee times available from 7:30 until 9:30.
Right.
We are going to reduce the size of the Saturday guaranteed times, the Saturday league, to one side. The weekends work a little bit different. Monday through Friday, we tee off of number 1. Okay, and then on the weekends, we tee off of 1 and 10, and we get the maximum amount of prime tee times in the morning. Currently, with all the 1 and 10, there's 14 on the back 9, and there's 8 on the front 9 that are all league play, only leaving 6 available to the public. We are going to move all the league play to one side. We are actually reducing it. So we are opening up so where there's 14 times available to the general public now on Saturday mornings and Sunday mornings, and 14 times available to the league play that was already existing. We are reducing the size of Saturday, not adding to.
Okay. Thank you. I really did kind of read that differently than that, so I really do appreciate that.
Yes,
Because
sir.
that really is one of the feedback sources that we were trying to address with this. And
Yes, sir.
so,
Mr. Wouters?
Thank you, Mayor. Pardon me. Chief Hughes, thank you for all the work you've done. Let me just try to get a few things straight, because like some of the voices we've heard today, and this seems to be happening rather quickly with perhaps not all the notice that some would prefer. If you can give me your best guess, and I'm sorry I didn't have a chance to ask you about this, or I didn't take advantage of the opportunities I had, because as I've thought about this and heard from more people, things are kind of crystallizing in my mind. So for the 4 main groups, as we stand under our current system per week, how many tee times, meaning a group of 4, do they have in a week? Does that make sense?
So currently, the men's groups that play on Monday and Wednesday occupy about 56 times on Monday and Wednesday. The ladies groups on Tuesdays and Thursday are approximately. There is 2 different groups. There's a group of ladies that play on Tuesday, one on Thursday. One of them's about 36. The other one's slightly smaller, 20.
Okay, and just to be clear, so when you say 56 groups,
That's not the tee times, it's the spaces. It's the amount of people.
Oh, so that's divided by 4?
It's the amount of people, yes.
Okay, so that'd be 15,
So there's
about
14,
2 hours.
there's 14 tee times that are used on Mondays and Wednesdays. And Tuesdays and Thursdays, there's 8 on Tuesdays, and there's 5 on Thursdays.
Okay, thank you. That's what I was seeking clarification on, because it's a lot to take in and try to distill and break down and understand. So under the proposal, the 14 tee times, the 8 tee times, and the 4 tee times, what would the new number roughly be?
So the new number on those days, so really what will happen right now is their Wednesdays, say the men, their Wednesdays will look very much exactly like their Wednesdays do now. All right. The change will be Tuesdays is the ladies, instead of one group playing on Tuesday and one group on Thursday, both groups will now play on Tuesday. We have created the space where both groups can play. They can play in their groups. We have the room, and we created the space to accommodate both groups on Tuesday for the ladies and both groups on Wednesday for the men. What we have done is basically opened Monday for general public to book tee times. Their Wednesdays will look very much like the same. And the reality is say for the men on Mondays, they still have the opportunity to create tee times. They can still come on and make their tee times. It's just not guaranteed. They just have to compete with everybody else. And so let's just say if there's a group of 32 of them and 28 of them happen to get tee times, they can still play their league play. We'll still partner with them. We will still make access to the tournament software, and they'll allow them to play their games. They'll just have to compete with all the general public for Monday for those times. But those times are still available. They're not taken from them. They're just not guaranteed.
Guys, again, we all quietly listened to you during your presentations, and I'm going to ask you to do the same respect to Mr. Hughes and to this council. Thank you.
So let me just reaffirm my understanding of the proposal. The groups will be allowed to keep their distinct groups and play amongst the people they're used to playing with.
On the weekdays, absolutely.
Okay, on the weekdays.
Again, please, guys, please let us just go through our Q&A.
Now, is this incorporated in writing anywhere, or are we just operating in good faith?
So in the bylaws, it says that the groups will be consolidated and the pro shop will run the groups. And we have spoken, we came to you in the briefing. We had the 4 groups during the week, and then there's like 8 or 9 groups on Saturdays. And to make each individual blanket rule for every single group was difficult. So we kind of made a blanket. This is our leagues. But our league is large enough, and we've made the space big enough to accommodate where they could. We did listen. We heard their feedback after all this came out. And we are allowed during the week. We have enough space where we can accommodate the 2 groups.
That's good news, I think. And so please forgive me for not having my facts straight. Is it Mr. Street, the person that will be kind of facilitator?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Chief Hughes.
Sorry, I didn't see who had their light on, but we'll go to Mr. Jansen.
Yeah, so I'm going to kind of echo what my colleague, Councilman Wagner said. First off, I do appreciate everybody coming out and giving us your feedback. It means a lot to me. I also have to balance in my mind, I think similar to what Mr. Wagner was maybe thinking, I don't want to put thoughts in his mind, is if I were to kind of categorize this, we got to balance this between being a public course and a quasi-private course. It's meant to be open for the public. And when we only have 6 rounds available for our public on a weekend, then it kind of lends itself to, what are we running here? Are we running a semi-private course, or are we running a public course? So I want to be careful with that as when we go forward making decisions. That was probably the one underlying thought that I have that really kind of resonates with me.
Mr. Wagner?
So, trying to kind of make sure that I'm following along and understanding, are we going to get the benefit of what we intended out of the rules after hearing more about this? And so, it sounds to me like the one biggest bone of contention is the league structure, the league management, and the league fees. And I think when we were getting briefed, one of the things that was shared, and I'm just validating this to make sure that I have an appropriate understanding of it, because I can guarantee you I am the worst golfer in this room. I can guarantee that. As anyone, but that being said, the league, what was shared with us is that the concept of having privately run leagues by private people administered in somebody else's golf course is a practice that is that is less prevalent now than it used to be. If not, in many cases, not allowed. Is that the correct understanding?
Typically, the golf club itself will operate the league. The golf club would say, here's our men's league. I believe our situation here is unique where we allow the leagues to run themselves and incorporate themselves and come in. And it's something that's a practice that's gone on in the past. And that's why we said we wanted to bring this back this is now the Jacks Beach Men's League. But after hearing, I believe that we are responsive government and we are to listen to the feedback of the people. And we heard that, okay, these people don't want to play together. They want to keep their same groups. And we've honored that. And we're going to have a little more oversight. And that's where the league feed comes in, and that's where they will have an elite liaison with their league, work directly with the golf pro, and to make sure that everything is above board and fair, and people are getting in and out of the leagues fair and equitable. If I wanted to start my own league, if I didn't work for the city and I wanted to start my own league, I couldn't.
And that was going to be the next set of questions or points. So I just want to make sure that folks do appreciate that in this process we're combining all these to now they're allowed to stay separate and distinct. Is that?
Yes.
Okay. So, well, we make the rules. Like, we get to vote on the rules, so we're clarifying the rules. And when you guys, so allow us to go through the process, please. I know it's painful to you guys because it's so important, and I appreciate that. And I'm just trying to help us get through this in little sound bites so that we can all understand exactly where we're going, and that if we get to a place where more people dislike it and like it, we're not going to go forward. And if we get to a place where we find something in the middle, that's what the council is here to do and to help guide us through that. So that's really what I'm trying to do. So I'm sorry that it's so painful.
Mr. Horn?
I guess so. Just looking numerically, you said I was going back to there was 56 on Monday, 32, 36 Tuesdays, Thursdays, 36 on Saturday. So it was 14 tee times on Mondays, 8 tee times, 6 tee times out of 14 tee times. How many total tee times in a day? I don't know.
I'd have to do the math. They go every 9 minutes. They start at 7:28. So I'd have to do the math.
All right, everybody take your shoes off. We're going to do a lot of counting.
That's Fletcher math right there.
I should have been able. This time of year, yesterday I think we did 200 rounds of golf. That was 50 tee times.
Okay.
Depends on the day length.
I guess one of the other things that I'm kind of inferring from the discussions and the comments that we're getting is, I guess were meetings held with the leagues, with these groups? Did you and your staff meet with them?
So before the briefing, no. And so what happened was we knew that this was a sensitive subject. We came and we wanted to get you guys consent or say, hey, do you guys agree, or are we going in the right direction? We actually called a meeting internally with the golf pro, the director, and myself the next day. And that's the same day the Beaches leader came out, and it was all in the news. And so they took the lid off for us. And then since then, between the golf pro and us, have had many conversations with the different groups.
I mean, it seems to me that it sounds like there's some, obviously, yes, I don't want to see it where there's 5 or 6 tee times on the weekend for the other citizens. I do agree that we should not be running a semi-private course for, this is a public course for the citizens of Jacksonville Beach and the surrounding communities, just like all the other things that we have here, just like the parks are for the citizens of Jacksonville Beach and anybody else in the surrounding communities that wants to come and enjoy them. And we try and maintain those as well as we can. I think there's some, it sounds to me like there's still some working out to do, maybe. It doesn't seem, I think that even some of the people that came up said, yeah, the weekend's probably not a good thing. The numbers, I think there's still got to be a better way for us to get where we're going with this. And I'm not seeing it here. That's just my observation for this one. And again, the rates are the rates. I think we're there. I'm just going to, that's my.
Mr. Sutton? No applause necessary. Thank you, Mr.
Thanks, Mayor. So, we've talked about a bunch of stuff here. And I appreciate all of the work that, Trevor, you've put into this. I'm certainly in favor of everybody having an opportunity to play Jack's Beach. I grew up playing the course, and my dad was in one of the one of the leagues for many years, and I've seen that course in all sorts of shape, and it's awesome today. But I'm not satisfied with where we're at right now. I think there are too many questions that remain, and I either would like to make an amendment to the motion or offer up a separate motion, whichever is appropriate, David, that we defer this and have a little more work on it from Trevor and Jason until the second week in January, or second meeting in January.
If that's a motion, I'll second it.
Not a motion yet. Hold on, everybody. Okay. So you can just have a motion to continue.
Motion to continue until the second meeting in January.
You don't have to.
Okay.
I would suggest maybe we don't tie it to a
Okay.
date. So motion to continue.
To continue.
Second.
This supersedes that original motion. Okay, we have. Can we have discussion on this?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm asking the attorney. Thanks, John. And I agree. I think that you guys put a lot of work into it. You've brought it to a briefing. You've done the things right to address what we have brought to you as concerns. And I do agree. And I think you guys all need to hear us, that we are hearing from people. They may not be calling you on your phones, but they are calling us. And there are people that need to, this course should be accessible to our community. And that's our goal, is to make sure it's accessible. I also don't think anyone up here wants to throw the baby out with the bathwater and throw anything good that we have out there, especially those of us that have painful memories of this course. So there is a happy medium, or maybe just slightly unhappy, as Mr. Wagner pointed out. How you know you've reached a compromise is everybody's a little bit unhappy, but hopefully not angry. So I'm hearing confusion. I'm hearing that people aren't really understanding what the changes are, and that maybe things aren't necessarily spelled out the way that they should be. This is golf. This is a golf course in Jacksonville Beach. We don't have to. Is there anything in this bylaws that is going to disrupt business between now and the next time so there's nothing urgent here. There's no reason not to take a pause and make sure we have it. And please know, you're not going to love every bit of it. But we want everyone to understand and at least be on the same page with why and how we're going to move forward with this. So any other comments on the motion to continue? Is that what we said? Is there any other comments on the motion to continue? Mr. Wouters?
I would like to thank my honorable colleagues for making, Councilman Sutton for making the motion, and for those that second it. This, like our distinguished mayor said, this is nothing urgent that requires action today. I'd like to see us get it right and do the best we can. Thank you.
Any other comments on the motion to continue? Madam Clerk, roll call.
Councilmember Horn.
Yes. Yes. I'm sorry.
How many times did you vote?
Councilmember Jansen.
Yes.
Councilmember Sutton.
Yes.
Councilmember Wagner.
Yes.
Councilmember Wouters.
Yes.
Councilmember Golding.
Yes.
Mayor Hoffman.
Yes. So this motion will be continued. I think you guys, the goal would be to make sure that you all stay very well aware of where this is going, when this is coming back up in front of us. So that is the end of our regular business. So can I have a motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Travel safe.